Did you hear what she said? The curse of the lonely road, Vika added, her voice shaking. What does that even mean? Anton wasn't listening to them. He got out of the car and walked around it, trying to find some reason why the engine had stalled. But everything looked normal, except for one detail. There was a strange mark imprinted on the hood, like a palm, but with long, thin fingers, as if they were not human. At that moment, the forest came alive. Whispers sounded everywhere, mingling with cries and distant laughter. Anton's lantern flickered, and for a moment they saw her. The woman stood between the trees, still in the same old-fashioned dress, but now her face seemed inhuman. It was distorted, and her eyes glowed with a dim yellow light. "You're here now," she whispered. "There's no turning back." Vika took a step back, but felt a cold hand grab her shoulder. She turned around and screamed. Behind her stood a man, or something that resembled him. His face was obscured by shadows and his clothes looked worn, like those who had been wandering here for years. "You're staying here too," the creature wheezed. Anton grabbed Lena's arm and shouted, "Run!" But Lena stopped and pointed to a road sign that somehow ended up right in front of them. It had words on it that neither of them expected to see. "Make a choice, either stay, or give up the one who will lead us on." The fog began to thicken around them, cutting off their paths back. The whispers grew louder, as if the forest itself was communicating with them. The road sign in front of them glowed with a dim, dead light, and the inscription "Make a choice" seemed to burn in the eyes of each of them. Anton, Lena, and Vika stood motionless, not knowing what to do. "It's a trap," Anton muttered. "They're playing with us." "No, it's a choice," Lena whispered, feeling her heart clench. "They want to leave someone behind." "Leave it? Are you serious?" Vika shouted, looking around. "We can't leave someone here. We don't have a choice." Anton clenched his fists. His voice was trembling. "Did you see those creatures? If we don't decide, they'll take everyone." Lena looked at the sign, then at her friends. She wanted to say something, but the words stuck in her throat. At that moment, a voice came out of the fog, cold and loud. "Time is running out." The fog around them began to move as if alive. Figures began to emerge from it. They were people, or what was left of them. Their bodies were covered in cracks like dried clay, and their eyes glowed with a pale yellow light. They slowly surrounded the trio. "Get back," Anton shouted, waving his flashlight. One of the creatures took a step forward and held out his hand. His face was devoid of emotion, but his voice sounded clear. "One of you must stay, just one." Vika shook her head. "We can't do this, it's crazy." "Then you'll all stay," the creature replied, and an ominous whisper-like chuckle was heard all around. Lena, gripped by panic, remembered the woman on the road